to today's video, where I'm going to try and keep it relatively short, like I always say, and it's just basically a update on how I'm getting on at 14 weeks out. So, to be totally honest with you, to try and keep it as real as I can here, I'm not suffering massively throughout this prep. I genuinely feel quite good. My energy levels are quite good, especially when I'm training. When I'm working in here, I'm on my feet all the time. Energy is still good. My hunger levels are not bad. I've been through this the last 2 years, and I know what it's like to suffer and starve. So at 14 weeks out, I'm certainly not starving yet. I'm getting a little bit hunger as I get, especially when I get home from here in the evening time, but that's to be expected. And I'm not complaining about any of this either, because like I've probably said before in a previous video, at some stage I choose to do this. So like I'm not going to go around and bitch about it because I've chosen to do this. I'm actually quite privileged, I think, to be in a position to do this. Well, that's the way I view it anyway. What else? So my energy levels are good. My hunger levels aren't too bad. My sex drive is still good, if anyone's wondering. What else? My mood is actually good as well. So all in all, in terms of how I'm feeling and how training is progressing, I'm still feel like I'm not getting any weaker. I'm still maybe even getting a little bit stronger throughout my training, which is great. I will talk about that in a little bit more detail in another video. So yeah, everything is going quite well. Don't worry, when things start getting harder, I will be honest and say, because there's no point in me bullshitting. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is a piece of piss, everyone can do this. No, it's not. It definitely gets fucking hard at times, especially when you're trying to get to a really low percentage body fat, which I'm trying to do. But for now, all is good. There has been changes made to my plan only this morning, so my calories have came down and cardio has been upped, but I will go through the calorie changes in the next clip. Stay tuned. Right, my diet at 14 weeks out. So I just want to say, actually, before I go through this briefly, my training and nutrition cycle is done in an 8-day cycle. So I train 3 days in a row, take 1 day off, 3 days in a row, 1 day off. So 3 and 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So it's done through an 8-day cycle. I didn't say that in my first video because I didn't want to confuse people, but it's not that confusing. This. My training split is legs, push, pull, rest day, legs, push, pull. Push, pull, and my rest day. My calories are down to 2,985. The macros on them days being 250 grams of protein, 350 grams of carbs, and 65 grams of fat. Now, on leg day, my calories are down still, but not that much, but they're down to 3,150. Macros being 200 grams of protein, so 50 grams less of protein. Main reason for that would be so we can allow more space for carbs, and 200 grams of protein like twice a week is not gonna make me lose muscle or go catabolic. So just remember that. 475 grams of carbs and 50 grams of fat. So 3,150 calories. The changes that took place, the weekly change or the 8-day cycle change. Previously, I was taking in 25,776 calories. That is now down to 24,210, which is a reduction of 1,566 calories throughout the 8 days. So I am basically, what has been done here is I've been put further into a deficit. So I'm 1,566 calories more into a deficit this time around than I was at 16 weeks out. Now there's also been an increase in my cardio. I won't go into detail in that, so that's further put me into a deficit, but those are the changes as of now. So today is my first day doing it, so I'm not feeling any different right now. I will let you know in future videos how I'm feeling with lower calories, but yeah, they're the changes for now. What you're going to see next is a physique update from myself at 14 weeks out. So last time you would have seen me, I would have been 20 weeks out and I would have been pretty fat. So we're going to have a look at what I'm looking like at 14 weeks out and see what the changes have been in the last 6 weeks. Also, while I roll this, I'm just going to do a bit of a voiceover and explain to you briefly about the poses that I'm doing. So I'm going to give you a bit of an education on bodybuilding and what exactly it is, what poses that I'm doing, how many mandatory poses there is, and what the criteria is that I'll be getting judged on the day. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what bodybuilding is, and there's a lot of confusions around it, and there's a lot of different categories these days as well, so people are kind of unsure as to what it is. So I'm going to give you a brief idea on exactly what it is I'll be doing. So what is bodybuilding? Basically, bodybuilding is when you walk out on stage with your togs off. So that's why I'm always wearing my jocks pulled up my gooch when I'm doing any like progress pictures or posing videos. Just trying to replicate what I'll be doing when I go out on stage. So basically, you wear like a thong, you walk out on stage, you get judged or you get compared against the other guys that are in your category. So you would have already seen, or you would be watching me doing the 4 quarter turns, which are the first 4 poses that you have to do when you walk out on stage. So that's a front relaxed pose, a side pose, so you quarter turn, you turn to your right, you do your side pose, you do your back relaxed pose, you turn right again and do your other side relaxed pose, and then you bring it back to the front relaxed pose. So that's the 4 front relaxed. Then after that you proceed to go into the 8 mandatory poses. So I'll be going through them now as you're watching. What are we getting judged on? So it's the question I get asked quite frequently. So the first thing that we're getting judged on is mass. So mass just refers to the overall muscular development. So how big your muscles are. We're also getting judged on condition, which refers to how lean or how shredded you are. So I suppose the lean for bodybuilding in particular, you need to be very, very lean or stage lean, which is sometimes it's referred to as like anywhere between 4 and 7% body fat. But again, you're not too bothered about your percentage body fat when you're up on stage. It's all about the visual look that you bring. So that is condition. What else do we have? We have symmetry. So symmetry refers to, as a definition, it refers to how even the left side and the right side of your body is. So the same amount of development on the left and the right side. Now it could also be referred to as how aesthetic you look. So that would mean, for example, for bodybuilding, a nice narrow waist, wide shoulders, wide sweeping lats, nice capped shoulders, nice capped delts, nice outer sweep on the quad, fully developed calves, forearms, etc, etc. So that's symmetry. Proportion, so that refers to the overall muscular development, that it is in proportion throughout the whole body, so that every muscle is equally developed. For example, that your arms aren't so big that they outshine your chest. Or the most common one would be fully very, very developed upper body, but a very underdeveloped lower body, so underdeveloped legs. We also have stage presence or presentation, which basically means how you present your physique on stage. So if you're confident what your posing is actually like, because they're quite hard to execute. I suppose the physical features of how good looking you are, your skin and all that, they don't get taken into consideration that much in bodybuilding. It's more so about the physique compared to, let's say, another category, like say what Kevin was doing with the men's physique. They kind of go for the look a bit more on that one. So if you're sexy, it helps. That's a brief kind of education on what exactly bodybuilding is. So the goal is to meet all those criteria, come out, get compared against the rest of the guys, and basically whoever meets the criteria the most ends up being the winner. You also do a 60-second posing routine by yourself, which is quite fun. I've done it a couple of times myself. That's where you can get a bit creative and treat bodybuilding more like an art. So I like to view bodybuilding myself as not this big meathead sport where you're throwing around weight and you're shouting and you're screaming and you're really, really narcissistic and you're obsessed with yourself, because it is a very narcissistic, self-obsessed sport, let's be honest. But I try and view it more through the lens of being like an art. So basically, my body's like a blank canvas and I'm trying to sculpt it into, I have a vision in my head of what I would like to look like, and I'm trying to sculpt it. I'm chipping away each day, each week, each month, each year to create that ideal physique. So that's how I view it, and for me it's a very, very enjoyable, satisfying experience, because I'll be able to look at my physique this year and compare it to last year and say, do you know what? I look better. I have more development here. I'm a little bit more shredded or a little bit leaner this year, and I'm moving towards that ideal physique that I'll probably be chasing for the rest of my life, if I'm totally honest, because are we ever really happy with what we have? No, well, I certainly am. I'm always striving to get better. But yeah, that's bodybuilding in a nutshell. That's it for today's video. Like I said, just a brief one, just to let you know where I'm at mentally in my own head, how my diet's going, how I'm feeling, etc. Next couple of weekends are quite busy, so I'm going shooting next weekend. Following weekend after that, I'm going to a seminar in Manchester, and I have something else planned the following weekend after that. So there's a good few bits coming up, so it should keep the series and the episodes quite exciting. And yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video. That's me. We out here.
We out here. We out here. Ain't no sleeping.
Bet no one knew I was wearing no shoes for today's video. No shoes. Calves though.